Hello there. I've got a question for you today. Are you raising a child who fears you or trusts you? Many parents mistake fear for respect. But a child who fears you will only obey you when you're watching and hide and do the exact opposite when you're not. And there's a long-term cost of fear-based parenting, and I'll share a few with you. Kids raised in fear often become sneaky. They become secretive. They become rebellious. And as adults, they will struggle with confidence, self-worth, people-pleasing, and they will end up in unhealthy relationships back to back. We've got to build respect through trust, guys. Respect should come from love and understanding, not fear of punishment. A child must feel safe telling you the truth, even when they make mistakes. You see this thing I just said now? A child must feel safe telling you the truth, even when they make mistakes. My goodness. I could hardly tell my parents the truth when I was a child. And even when I told them things, they didn't know it was the truth because they didn't believe anything that I said. I remember one incident where I lived with my aunt, who's late now, in Kaduna. And she walked into our house and I was playing with my cousin and his friend. We were playing rough play. I mean, I was 13, come on. 2 boys and myself, my cousin, his friend and myself. And she walked into this room. We didn't even know she was there. But it was like she silently walked into the house because I didn't even understand the intention behind the silence. But she came and walked back out. And then later called my name from outside. And I said, "Oh, auntie, I'm here." And she walked inside and we went home. The following day, she calls my parents and she tells my parents that she saw me playing with them in a sexual manner. Oh, and the truth is, it was a lie. I wasn't. I was fully clothed. We were playing pillow fights because I was a tomboy as a child. And we were playing rough fights. How that turned and became sexual, I couldn't understand. Now, can I tell you what hurt me the most? It wasn't even the lie. It was the fact that my parents believed her and none of them asked me my side of the story. How many times have you done that to your children? Where somebody tells you something about them and your children are saying no. Can your children lie? Yes. But imagine if they felt safe and they told you this truth a couple of times and you still said they were lying. How do you think they're going to react to it? So imagine that your children could feel safe with telling you, "Daddy, I'm the one that broke that thing. Daddy, I'm the one that stole the meat. I took the meat because I was hungry and there was nobody to ask. So I didn't really steal it. I just was hungry." And your daddy says, "You're right. I can imagine if it was me, I would eat that meat too because I understand what hunger means." Rather than slap, beating, kicking, locking up in the room, which is how, we were punished as children. Oh, I chopped better cane. Koboko, wire, I was that child. So really nothing that came out of my mouth was believed by them. And so at some point I stopped trying, especially my dad. My mom would listen to me and I give her credit for that. She would want to listen to me and ask me more questions and all of that. My dad was just one way, right? Because I guess my track record was also a bad track record. So that means everything that comes out of this child has to be a lie. Because yes, I did steal. Yes, I did some of those things because I needed certain things that they refused to give me and I took it without permission. And what's the worst that will happen? They'll beat me. That's what I told myself. And I'll have marks and then the marks will dissolve and I'll keep it moving. Now, how many of us have been raised by those kind of adult Hitler parents who were dealing with their own insecurities and passed them on to us? I want to share some practical strategies that you can use. The first thing that you can do is own your mistakes. As parents, we don't apologize. When we lose our temper, we shout, we say all kinds of things to our children. And when we don't apologize, it teaches our children that accountability does not apply to everyone. But when we apologize, they believe that it cuts across everyone. There's a natural consequence instead of fear-based punishment. Instead of yelling, ask, what do you think should happen next time so that they take responsibility for their next action and the consequences that will follow it? I also want us to have an open door policy that says, no matter what happens here, I'd rather hear the truth from you than from someone else outside. And I want you to mean that statement. We used to do something in my house on Sundays. I'll say, it's like an arena. Let's sit down and talk. anything you're struggling with, anything you have a challenge in, any support that you need, anybody you want to report, everything that happens here stays here. Nobody's going to hold it against you that you said, oh, daddy, the way you spoke to me, or mommy, the way you shouted at me. Nobody's going to hold it against you. We're going to be able to have this conversation, and everybody's opinions will be respected and will be talked about. How many of you can do that? Listen to your children say, well, mommy, I actually think that, you shout too much. How many of you can accept it? And then my response to her was, well, sometimes if I have to say something 6 times, I believe you are deaf. And so for me to allow you hear me, I have to increase my volume. It's not that I'm angry. I just feel you need an increased volume to hear after saying something 6 times. And she goes, I understand that now. So how can we now help each other? My daughter then says, mommy, after the 2nd time you say something, I will get up and do it. And then I say, after the 2nd time, I will remind you that I've said it 2 times. And then you will remember that, oh, our promise is 2 times, and you get up and do what you need to do. I didn't say if I slap you, which is what I used to say before. Are you all right? How can you be telling me that I shout too much? Who am your mother? I can shout. It's my voice. I command you. I used to speak like that before when I didn't know better. And when I was also very broken and insecure and bleeding all my hurts on my children that didn't cut me. Another exercise that I'm going to share with you to do as well is called the trust check. I want you to ask your child, is there anything you've been scared to tell me? And allow them say it. You stay calm, you listen, and you do not act or react emotionally. You listen. Another game you can also do with them is tell me one secret. That's the game. You tell them, then they tell you. And you start by sharing a funny or small secret about yourself. You then ask your child to share one with you. I promise you this builds emotional safety and stability. I do it with my child and children all the time. What's your call to action today? If you are in a relationship and you want to build a relationship that lasts and is built on trust, type trust over fear in the comments below. Because trust is earned, not demanded. And to trust others, you must first trust yourself. You see, everything starts with self. So I'm going to ask you this question. Are you struggling with trusting yourself? Because I did. I struggled with trusting myself. The link is in the description below for my website and for booking a session with me. And this book, The Transformed You, has 16 things that held me back as a human being and 16 things that I deployed that helped me become the better version of myself. If you buy this book, you will definitely be on the journey and on your journey to becoming a trusted person for you and your children. And better still, there are courses on my website, which is going to be in the description box below. There are courses, there are links to talking to me, so I can teach you how I have evolved as a parent and still evolving, because parenting is a school, a lifelong school, even over marriage. Because now you are growing other human beings under you and you're meant to guide them safely. You're meant to be that lighthouse that guides them safely to their destination. You've got to be filled with light to be able to light other people's paths to their destination. And I can help you get there. My name is Adeola Kingsley James. Love and light.